It's Shannon. I'm going to talk to you today. As you can see, the title above is Collectors Anonymous, aka Hoarders. I want to talk today about how to manage a collection, particularly of makeup and beauty products, that has gotten completely out of control. The reason that I'm doing this video is because I think we have a great community here on YouTube, but I also think that it is encouraging girls to buy products that they would never have normally bought on their own. It's getting girls excited about, you know, makeup and beauty products and fashion, which is great, but you know, they're kind of losing sight of a realistic purpose with it. I think that there are a lot of girls that I see them really getting themselves, they're going to be getting themselves into a financial fiasco. You know, they've not learned the lesson about what's happening around them with this economy that we're in. They're not learning the lesson about how their parents have overextended themselves with credit card debt and mortgages that they can't afford, and they're setting themselves up for the same, you know, failures. I know that they're spending, they're getting these products on credit cards, and you know, it's just a problem. And not to mention that, you know, it's a space issue. You can only use so much, you can only get through so much, and you only have room for so much. So I have a background in psychology, and I started thinking about this a long time ago, but I just kind of didn't really do anything with it. And the reason I really decided to do it now is this. Everybody knows that there was this kind of movement, the Project 10 Pan movement that happened here on YouTube, where it was started by Lollipop 26, who's, you know, a pretty well-known guru, and a lot of people kind of jumped on board, and the idea was that we're going to use up 10 products before we're allowed to buy something new. Okay? And from the get-go, I knew that that was going to be a failure. There would be a very, very, very small percentage of people that that would work for. In the majority, you know, 99.9% of the population, it was going to be a fail. And I'm going to tell you why. The easiest way for me to explain it is to equate it to a starvation diet. Now, I want to tell you folks, even if it's not makeup that you are hoarding, maybe it is, or that you just have too much of. Maybe it is scrapbooking stuff. You know, maybe stickers and ribbons are, you know, have now taken over your kids' rooms, not just the little, you know, closet that you were going to originally dedicate to it. Maybe it's knitting. You know, maybe you have more yarn, you couldn't knit a blanket, you know. You've got more yarn than it would take to knit a blanket to cover the planet, kind of thing. Maybe if you're a guy, my we're car heads, and I have an uncle who literally has, I think, like 36 transmissions, you know, sitting in storage. And he knows that he's got a transmission problem. He jokes about it. He says, you know, I buy them and I keep them, and I think, you know, I might need them eventually one day, or I might need them for something or whatever. And realistically, he could get rid of 35 of those. I mean, he might use one here and there, he might sell one here and there, but you know, he's got way more than he'll ever do anything with. So maybe for you it's car parts. Maybe it is you are trying to stop smoking. Maybe you know, essentially it all kind of follows the same principles. So whatever it is for you, take what I'm telling you and use it however it works for you. Okay? What I would like to do with this is I would like to create kind of a little community here on my channel where I don't want it to just be about trying to solve all your problems, but I am going to be incorporating that into how I do my videos in the future, because I don't want people buying things just for the sake of buying something. You know, I want people learning the bigger lesson. I want them learning that you don't have to buy the exact eyeshadow that I have to use. You just have to learn the technique and then use what you have. You know, those kind of things. That's really what it's intended to do. So I want to build a little community here. My hopes are that we'll all kind of start participating with each other. I have the quietest quietest subscribers on the planet. I really do. I know you guys are there. You're just so quiet. And I have men, women, I have very young, I have older. And it's so funny. I have one subscriber really who comments all the time. Hi, Jenny. And you know, I can rely on her all the time. She participates with me, and I love that. I've got 2 or 3 that comment here and there, you know, and they comment a little more than before, but and then I get the kind of random watcher who's not actually a subscriber, but they just happen upon one of my videos and they'll make a comment or say something nice. But most of you are so quiet, and it's okay. You can talk to me. I only bite if I'm asked to. I'm kidding. Sort of. So I want you guys to participate with me. I know you guys are there. You guys watch. I know you're watching the videos and you're just so quiet. So hopefully, I'm hoping to kind of, maybe this will be something that can bring us together a little bit. And that you can take what I have to say and use it towards whatever you need to use it towards in your life. So, Project 10 Pan. This happened. I'm going to equate this to a diet. Basically, what they were supposed to do is they were supposed to not buy anything else until they had completely used up 10 products. Okay. So basically what they've done is they've put themselves on a starvation diet. This is a starvation makeup diet. Okay? This is why I knew it wouldn't work, because starvation diets don't work. And here's why it didn't work and why it won't work for you and what the problem is with it. The very first thing that started happening was girls weren't even really ready to commit. From the very beginning, I started seeing girls saying, I'm going to do Project 10 Pan, but I don't really know if I'm going to do 10. Or they would call it Project X Pan because they didn't want to commit to 10. And some of them would even say, I don't know if I really want to do 10, maybe I'll only do 5. Before they'd even started, they were already rationalizing why they weren't going to do it. Some of them were saying, I'm going to do 10 Pan, but I'm not going to include lip gloss. You know, so they've already failed. They haven't even started and they've already failed. The other reason I knew it wouldn't work is because starvation diets don't work. Here's what happens. You go on the starvation diet, you're doing really well. Somebody comes in to work with the box of donuts for, you know, everybody in the office. And now the temptation is there. And so you're sitting there and you're hungry and you're obsessing. You know, all you can think about is donuts and cake and potato chips anyway. So, you know, for a makeup person, it's nail polish and lip gloss and eyeshadows. And, you know, you're getting through the day and it's 10 o'clock and it's 11 o'clock and the donuts are still there and it's 12 o'clock and there's still some left and it's 1 o'clock. Now there's only 3 left. And then it's 1:30 and now it's down to 2. And it's 2 o'clock and there's only 1 donut left, and you're thinking, here's where you start rationalizing, okay? You're thinking, there's only 1 donut left. I've done so good all week. I haven't had anything bad all week long. 1 donut won't kill me, will it? Or, you know, I could eat the donut and then I'll run 4 extra miles on Sunday to burn it off. And so the rationalizing starts happening. So in the makeup world, what was happening was girls were starting to say, oh, gosh, I need to get that nail polish now because it's limited edition. And because it's limited edition, you know, what if by the time I finish Project 10 Pan, they're all sold out? And because it's limited edition, they're not going to make more of that color. And, you know, oh my gosh, and they're starting to give themselves excuses on why it's okay to eat the donut and why it's okay to buy the nail polish. And what happens? We all know what happens. First of all, we know that Sunday comes and goes, and, you know, you get busy and you got family and you got things you have to do and laundries, you know, whatever, and running those 4 extra miles just doesn't happen, right? Well, in the makeup world, it is, you know, you're rationalizing buying a project or a product just because it's limited edition, not because it's a product that you would have ever actually bought, you know, to begin with. If it didn't say limited edition, would you be buying it? You know, maybe, but in a lot of cases, probably not. And we know that nowadays there is a new limited edition line every single month, sometimes twice a month. So when you finish Project 10 Pan, there's going to be a limited edition line out then, and you can, you know, you can pick a polish then. But anyway, you see what's happening. The people are starting to rationalize why, you know, why it's okay to kind of break their little starvation diet. Or Maybe they didn't break it. Maybe they didn't rationalize. Maybe they got all the way through to the tin pan. But what happens when you're on the diet, you've lost all the weight you want to lose, and you have starved yourself to do it? What happens? We binge, right? Almost every time we binge. You go back to eating regular food, and all of a sudden you've gained all the weight back. Or you just flat out binge. You inhale every single thing that you've wanted to eat the entire time you've been starving yourselves. Well, the same thing is happening with these girls, and this is what made me really decide to do this video, because I'm watching all these girls who have done their successful Project 10 Pan videos, and then pretty much right after their 10 Pan video is their haul video where they went to the drugstore and they came home with 15 products. And so they now have more than they started when they had the Project 10 Pan, right? So that's what made me, decide to do this video. I literally watched a girl the other day, and she's done some rationalizing, but she did a 20 pan, which, I give her kudos for doing 20. She, raised the bar for herself. But she went to the drugstore, and she came back with, just as many products as she panned. And not to mention that, but probably 12 of those were lip products. She went crazy. So she is worse off now than she was when she started. So what's the point of having the discipline all that time if it doesn't do any good? So I'm going to teach you, I'm going to show you what I do, and I'm going to break it down into steps, and I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to show you from my shampoo and conditioner routines, my shower gels, my deodorants, hair care products, makeup, lotion. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it, how I allow myself to have purchases when I want them, but how I also have discipline in making sure I'm using up what I've got. And I'm going to do this over a group of, kind of a series. I'm going to break them down just because each little section is kind of a lot to tell you. And for those of you girls who are in the business like I'm in, maybe you're in the makeup business, maybe you work at Sephora, or you work, whatever. If your hoarding has to do with clothes, maybe you work at Elderberryman, whatever it is, if you work in the business where it can get kind of hard, it gets kind of complicated, you kind of feel a sense of responsibility to keep up with the newest products and with the latest thing and make sure you've tried things out. I totally get that, and I'm going to, at the very, very, very end, the very last video, I'm going to talk to you girls kind of specifically, and guys, and tell you how I keep that balanced for myself as well. Okay, so, keep watching for that. And moving forward, I'm going to kind of, every time I do something, whether it's a tutorial, whether it's, haul videos, whether it's, a get ready with me today kind of video, face of the day, whatever, outfit of the day kind of stuff, you're going to kind of be able to see how I really do implement these rules kind of in my life. And it's how I'm able to enjoy it, have fun with it, still get things that I want to have, but keep it under control and make sure I'm not using or getting more than I could ever possibly use anyway. There's nothing sadder to me than to see these girls that keep doing these blog sales because they've spent all this money on products that they couldn't ever use all the way up anyway. They weren't ever going to use. Some of them were impulse buys, some of them were makeup products that they really didn't think through, that aren't flattering to them anyway. Some of it is products they just kind of got bored with because they need that constant stimulation of something new. And so they're selling these products for next to nothing, on blog sales and things. And they're wasting so much money. And I know they're getting themselves into debt, doing it. And it kind of makes me sad. So we're going to get control. I'm going to tell you exactly what I do. I would love to see if you have your own way. Please do video responses and show me how you manage yours. You might help somebody who has a similar lifestyle as you. If it doesn't matter if it's car parts, if your issue is car parts, show me anyway, because it doesn't really matter what the widget is. If you're trying to stop drinking, if you're trying whatever, still participate. Leave comments and ask me questions about it. I want to hear from you guys. Leave comments that saying what you're doing so that people can kind of follow along. If you're not comfortable with that, if you have something more personal going on that you would like help with and support with, send me a direct message. I am happy to help you that way and keep it private as well. So if you want to do that, you're welcome to do that. But I'm kind of hoping that we'll all kind of get this ball rolling, and that we'll all be communicating with each other, and you know, we can just kind of make this little community of not just a support system, but kind of just a fun environment where we're sharing information, we're still having a good time, but we're keeping our heads about ourselves. Okay, now that I've gone through all of that, I'm basically going to give you the big secret right now on how I keep control of my spending and, you know, my product usage. And what I do is I call it my fancy day and my lazy day. Okay? Okay, so the way that I maintain kind of making sure that I use up my products and I'm responsible is that I have a fancy day and a lazy day routine. And you think, what does that mean? That's a silly name. What does that mean? Basically what that means is that I have an every other day, essentially an every other day routine that I stick to. And I call one day my fancy day and one day my lazy day. So, you know, what does that mean? Well, a fancy day is exactly what it sounds like, and a lazy day is exactly what it sounds like, and it's every other day. So what is more likely to happen on a fancy day? On a fancy day, I'm going to take more time getting ready. I'm going to dress nicer. I'm going to use my nicer, newer products. I'm going to shave more. I'm going to probably, you know, attempt to actually do my hair, use more styling products. You know, my fancy day is the day that I spend more time getting ready. I'm much more conscious about how I look. I try to, you know, look nicer, dress nicer, take more time. I try to, you know, make sure I style my hair. I use my nicer products. I just do more, and I spend a little more time. On a lazy day, I spend a little less time. I use my older products. I may not dress quite as nicely. You know, I might be a little more comfortable on a lazy day. I might not use heat styling products on my hair on a lazy day. That's kind of my day to give myself a break, whether it's give my hair a break or whether it's, you know, like I mentioned shaving. On a fancy day I shave more body parts. An example of that is, you know, like under my arms, my hair is very baby fine, and my body hair just doesn't grow that quickly, and I can't shave. The hair on my legs grows a little longer than the hair under my arms, or not a little longer, a little faster. It doesn't grow longer. I shave, thanks. It grows a little faster. So I can shave more often with my legs, but under my arms it just doesn't grow fast enough. And if I tried to shave every day, I'm just, you know, basically tearing my skin up. There's just nothing to shave. So I shave under my arms on my fancy day and not on my lazy day. You know, I have a day off for that on my lazy day. So like I said, I don't have to use heat styling products or tools on my hair. That my lazy day, that might be the day that I don't, you know, curl my hair or use a flat iron. I might just blow it dry and go, or maybe I'll put it up on that day. On fancy days, those are the days I'm more likely to treat myself with something. Like I'm more likely to maybe take a bubble bath, or give myself a facial, or maybe paint my nails, you know, on a fancy day. And the lazy days they're my day to kind of relax and give myself a little bit of a break. So essentially what I do is the products that I need to use up, I use up for sure on my lazy days. The products that I use on, or that are kind of my newer, nicer products, or maybe it's a product that I'm, you know, I haven't had as long, so I'm more excited about it, or whatever. Maybe it's, maybe I just feel like dressing up more on that day. Anyway, that kind of stuff I do. That's my fancy day. So that kind of gives you an idea moving forward of when I'm talking about, you know, how I break things down. I might refer to something as this is my fancy day product and this is my lazy day product. I'm going to tell you now, just to give you kind of a forewarning, there are a few. My hair products stay pretty strict with my fancy day, lazy day routine. My makeup products stay pretty strict with fancy day, lazy day routine. The only, even lotions and shower gels are that way. The only thing that's a little bit different is my shampoo and conditioner routine, and that's basically because a lot of products are recommended that you use once, maybe twice a week. And so with my shampooing regimen, it's not an every other day regimen, but I still have fancy days for my shampooing regimen. So I think I'm going to start with my shampoo regimen just to kind of get that out of the way. Plus it's the thing that I do first, you know, in my shower, and I literally am going to break down everything for you guys, like from start to finish, all of the products that, you know, I use all the way from beginning to end. So I do think I'm going to start with my shampoo conditioning kind of routine. Number one, because it is kind of the very first step in my getting ready process. And number two, because if I don't go in order of how I get ready, I risk forgetting something, and I don't want to forget anything. So it just makes it easier for me. So anyway, I'm going to kind of be using my fancy day, lazy day explanation and referring to that moving forward. So keep that in mind and expect to see my fancy day, lazy day routines and kind of how I make it work and how I work through products. And I'm going to give you a really quick example now, just so you kind of sort of are on board and kind of have a little bit of an idea and will kind of know what to expect. And then as you know, moving forward, it will make a little bit more sense to you. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an example of that now, and then just remember that moving forward I have fancy days and lazy days. And so sometimes you might see a fancy day tutorial, and some days you might see my lazy day tutorial. And remember that my new products I can use, and I can incorporate them in with my old products, but that my old products have to, at a minimum, be used on my lazy day. Okay? So that's how we get rid of it. And I hope that it's clear for you guys. So let me give you a little example, and then we'll kind of move forward from here together as a group. So let me give you an example. Let's say I've got an eyeshadow, and it's an eyeshadow that I need to use up. I paid for it, or somebody gave it to me, so I need to use it till it's gone. But let's say that I have gone shopping and I see another eyeshadow, and I would really like to have it. You know, I've thought about it, don't have anything like it. It goes really well with something, or maybe it's a product that I really want to try out because maybe the product that I'm using doesn't quite suit my needs, so this is a product I'd like to try. It is okay for me to buy that eyeshadow, but I still have to use up the eyeshadow that I already had. So it is not okay for me to kind of set the old eyeshadow aside and not use it. It's also not okay for me to buy the new eyeshadow and stick it in a drawer and be like, ooh, isn't that pretty? And then close the drawer and not use it. I bought it, I need to use it. So I have my fancy day and my lazy day. And what happens is, on my fancy day, basically it's every other day, and you will see I use and I will tell you as I'm breaking down my hair care products, my whatever, I will kind of explain to you what I use on my fancy day and what I use on my lazy day. Okay, I'm going to break it all down for you. this is just to kind of give you the general overview. So what I will do is, it's every other day. Let's say the odd days of the month are my fancy days and the even days of the month are my lazy days, okay? So on an odd day, if it's the first of the month, it's my fancy day. And I can use my new eyeshadow if I want to on my fancy day. The only thing I have to do is on my lazy day, I have to use my old eyeshadow. Okay? So at least every other day, I'm still using my old eyeshadow until it's gone. Alright? Now, if on my fancy day, when I'm using my new eyeshadow, if I want to use my old eyeshadow with it, I can. That's okay. I can use my old eyeshadow every day if I want to. And the flip is true as well. If I want to use my new eyeshadow every day, I can as well. It just means that on my lazy day, I'm going to use my old eyeshadow, and I'm going to use my new eyeshadow with it. So what happens is, over time, I will use up that old eyeshadow. And then the new eyeshadow that I bought becomes my old eyeshadow, and I can buy something else. Now we know that things happen, like maybe for your birthday somebody gives you an eyeshadow, so now you've got another, another eyeshadow. What do you do with it? Well, I'm going to explain to you how I handle that as well, and that kind of ties into the business aspect that I was talking about before, that I'm going to talk about at the very end, because that does happen. Sometimes things come in multi-packs, or sometimes you get things as gifts that you were never expecting to get. Or maybe you're just now starting it, but you've got all these products already, so what am I going to do with them? How am I going to incorporate that in? So I'm going to explain all that to you. So just stay tuned, stick with me through this. I want to make it fun. Hopefully it's funny, but it's a realistic thing. And like I said, maybe it's not makeup for you, but maybe it's something else. And maybe it's severe. Hoarding is a real issue. There is kind of stimulation involved with it. There's depression sometimes involved with it. There are compulsions and obsessions sometimes involved with it. It can be a real issue, and it can be, just because your house is not top to bottom full with stuff like we see on the TV show, doesn't necessarily mean you don't have a little bit of a problem. And it also doesn't mean that you don't kind of need to get your finances in order and not be buying things that you really don't need, won't use, can't use, or ultimately cannot afford. So hopefully we can do this and have it be kind of fun, and hopefully I'm clear. If you ever have any questions about anything, please let me know, because I am happy to break it down further, or try to explain more, or tell you whatever your question may be. And like I said, please participate, please comment, please make videos and respond to this with videos to show me what you're doing, or I would love to see how you guys are implementing what I'm teaching you into your daily lives. I would love to see that. And I think what you're going to find is the starvation diets don't work, but managing healthy life does work, and it's the same thing for makeup. So, or car parts, or scrapbooking supplies, or hats, or whatever your problem may be. So we're going to keep it light, but moving forward, I think you're really going to, and if you go back and look at my videos in the past, as you're starting to kind of understand how this works for me, if you go back and look at my videos in the past, you're going to see that I've been using this plan all along. It works, and it works for me, and this is what I do. And I have to do it because I'm in the business. I'm surrounded by this stuff all the time, and I have a need for this stuff, not just personally but professionally, and I have to maintain it in order to not spend more, in order to not have my expenses higher than my revenue. I have to manage that. So for all of you makeup artists out there, if you are constantly buying makeup all the time, and you're not making enough jobs to pay for it, you're wasting your time, right? So, and I think most of, there are some very highly paid makeup artists, but most of us are kind of doing it on a more generalized level. If you're doing it in a retail situation, I know you're not making a ton of money, you know, doing that, and it's really easy to get caught up in that and get wrapped up in it. So it's something that we have to do, and it's something that I have to do, and so I do it, and I'm going to try to help you do it as well. If you're not in the business, that's okay too. It's going to be easier for you than it is for the rest of us, hopefully. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to start with the series, and I'm going to start breaking it down, so be watching for that. And follow along and participate with me. And I'm still going to do my regular kind of videos, so don't think that now this is just an anonymous channel, you know, that I'm just trying to help people. I'm still going to do haul videos, and so if those are the videos that interest you, I'm still going to do product reviews. I'm still going to do, you know, tutorials here and there. So, and I'm still going to do vlogs. I haven't really done vlog videos lately, but I'm still going to do those. So if those were the videos that interested you, still stick with me, because I'm still going to be doing those as well. I'm just going to kind of break things down, and hopefully you'll be able to see in those kind of videos that I really do incorporate this lifestyle even into those videos. So I think that's all, and give up your starvation diets and go on a healthy makeup diet instead. Okay? Talk to you later. Bye.